because it is showing me live.
Hey folks, Lester and Jamie here. If y'all will give us 2 seconds, we're trying to do something really cool. We'll tell you all about it, but we're just trying to figure something out. Um, I still have no notification, Jamie. So what's happening is I'll go ahead and tell you guys what's happening. We have Jamie and I are at 2 different locations.
Yeah.
And we are going live with a split screen
It's something, y'all.
on both of the YouTube channels.
Hey, face.
What we're trying to do, though, is Jamie's trying to navigate.
It should have given you a notification, Lester. Because it told me that you were invited. No? Facebook, give me a little time here. So I'm on Facebook and on StreamYard on 2 separate devices. Lester and I are in different locations. And what's happening is I invited him on Facebook, but for the record, we have never done this before through Facebook directly, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And it may just be that for Facebook, you might only get to see me. So if you don't have a notification on your phone, babe, then that might just be the case. And for people who want to see both of our faces, they might want to hop over to any of the YouTube channels. That's the best, unless you can see if you have it.
So where do I look for it at?
On your Facebook, your own personal Facebook notifications.
The little bell thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really see anything like that.
Okay.
But
well, as long as, I guess, if you're on Facebook, you can hear it if you want to, or I can probably hang up I'm a Survivor too. That's a option too at some point, because it's probably playing correctly on Longhorn Lester's.
So here's what everybody should do is, if they want to see the split screen with both of us and see what we're doing and actually have video access, not just audio, then they should go to either your channel on YouTube, which is From Suits to Boots, or my channels plural on YouTube, which is I'm a Survivor Sanctuary or Longhorn Lester's. Or if they're the kind of person who doesn't like YouTube because they don't understand how it works, then you can go to Longhorn Lester's Facebook, which means they never have to leave. But if they can't figure any of those things out, then we should probably, all they're going to be able to do is have audio. They can't see you and I or the neat stuff that we're going to do.
That's okay.
And I'm sorry, Jamie and I want to sit one day side by side and play with this together. She is the technical person in the.
I clicked all the buttons and it told me it was doing that, but on Lester's side, he can't see it. So for everybody on I'm a Survivor Facebook, I am going to disconnect this. You can go see it on Longhorn Lester's if you're a Facebook only person, or you can come over to any of the YouTube channels. But we're in 2 different locations tonight and wanted to update y'all on what's going on and just kind of. This is our together time, and we decided to share it all with y'all.
I'm going to grab me a Dr. Pepper.
And Lester's going to grab a Dr. Pepper. And I am going to say goodbye to I'm a Survivor Facebook. So it's very confusing. I'm sorry to have confused y'all, but you can go see us on Longhorn Lester Facebook, because for whatever reason, it's okay there, and any of the YouTubes. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay. I ended the I'm a Survivor Facebook, and that was enough.
Oh, there it comes. There it is.
No, it's not.
That was a joke. I don't think no one's going to get my humor. No one ever gets my humor. So I didn't want to scare everybody, but we are having some torrential downpours today. So bad, not so bad. No, that's just a horrible word choice.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna pour myself a drink, because I'm just gonna have a repeat of Timeout Tuesday here without you. Sorry.
Well, that's no fair. Do we have any of those drinks over here?
Yeah, go look in the cabinet.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to ruin my reputation. I will not put my reputation on the line.
Oh,
I'm
mine's
not going to
tanked
do it.
already, and I'm taking it down.
I will not put my rep on the line for anything. So we are having some heavy rains today, several inches at both properties. Enough so we're concerned with I'm a Survivor and our flooding situation here. Now, of course, it's not going to be river flooding, so don't start thinking all that crazy stuff like Hurricane Harvey and all that. We are nothing. Yeah. Cheers, Jamie.
Cheers, y'all.
Oh, I was going to tip your glass to
Oh,
my, yeah, like that. There's a lady who, I don't want to say her name, it might embarrass her, but every single morning she's one of the early morning commenters, and she goes, "Good morning, Lester. Coffee clink," and then she puts a picture of her
I love
coffee.
that. I think that's really sweet. I love the coffee clink.
Okay, well, I loved it too until I realized that she does it to everyone's channel because I know my people, Jamie, and you know how
She
jealous I
likes
am.
to make her way around
Nope,
clinking. It's okay
nope,
to
nope,
clink
nope, nope.
others. You
I'm
don't
not
have to
saying
clink
I'm
just
not
one
saying that
person.
I'm not saying that she's dead to me at all, but I am saying that I'm a little bit jealous because how would you like it if I was over here cheering to you and then 5 minutes later over here, hey, cheering to someone else,
I
and then
just
5 minutes
cheered
later,
this
hey,
a couple
cheering to
thousand people
someone else.
here on YouTube and Facebook and went,
Hold on. I have a crazy Russian hacker trying to get into our comments. Give me a moment. That might not be Russian. I probably shouldn't have said that. I don't want to offend the Russian hackers.
I have never gone live with Lester where I wasn't sitting next to him to be able to squeeze his leg or put his hand down or to handle the IT version of this. So I should probably pre-apologize to people for how this might go tonight, for the record.
Well, all I'm saying is if you are the crazy Russian hacker who's not messing with us, you're just enjoying a nice live.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Please don't go at me like that. Don't go at me. But if you are the Russian hacker who was messing with us, I just deleted that and blocked that person. So
So
you
people
don't
are asking, sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you. People are asking if I got the boot off. I posted that reel of that boot that I couldn't get off, and I'm
Yeah.
happy, pleased to say that it did. It finally came off. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, she called me asking for help, and I'm like, "How am I going to help you? What can I do?"
Yeah.
But I normally there is a tool you can actually. There's a really neat thing you can buy where you put 1 foot on it and
And his
you
name is Lester.
no.
Oh,
It's a device that you can have if you're a single person who doesn't have someone to help pull your boots off.
hmm.
And we had one that it was metallic, and it was shaped like a scorpion. So the tentacles or
The
whatever.
boot remover. The boot tool has tentacles.
So maybe it wasn't a scorpion. It was large. It was very large. So you put 1 foot on it, and then the tentacles come out, and then you put your boot there, and so 1 foot is standing on it, and it pulls out the boot. Or you can just go to the doorstep and use the doorstep, but that's always harder.
I just went to Lester.
Yeah, you do. Jamie finds romance in the strangest of things. I'm still
What's wrong with that?
no romance to me is still a nice home cooked meal, a bubble bath. I like romance the old fashioned way. I'm an old fashioned romantic. Jamie likes me to pull boots off, and those kind of things is what gives her sense of romance, and I just don't get that at all. Uh,
Acts of
I'm not,
service.
huh?
Acts of service.
If people are like envisioning some kind of like really sensual and like motions, we don't look sensual, y'all.
Hold
We
on.
don't look sensual. When we're pulling boots off each other, there's nothing sensual about it. It's normally one of us like holding on for dear life, and the other one just yanking our leg almost out of.
That's the best part about it. It's hilarious.
No romance in that, though.
It's hilarious. That's the romance. Is the humor. Hold on. Somebody just called me a brainless drama queen. I need to block them.
I hope it wasn't my coffee clink lady. If it's my
No.
coffee clink lady, she's dead to both of us now.
Yeah. No, I can't find him.
You know, the sad thing is that sweet lady, and I will not say her name because I don't want to embarrass her, but tomorrow
Guess what? It won't let me block. You have to be the blocker. That's
Oh,
why.
do you remember the name? You want to call that person out, or have to? How far do I have to go?
You'll see it again. He keeps typing stuff. It's a he.
Do you know what his little picture looks like?
No, I was too busy looking at his words.
I can guarantee it's not himself. That's what always happens. They don't. They never want to put their real picture on there. Let me be just this honest, good-looking.
Somebody says, Jamie, your hair looks fuller. This is post rain. This is post feeding in the rain right here, and I do get the most beautiful locks whenever I don't even try. Apparently, because I looked at myself too. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to straighten this tonight. I'm going to live in this, and yeah, well, this is what you get.
Well, someone just says hi, Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie must be here too.
Well, that hurts my feelings because Stephanie has never joined me on a live, never. However, she's been to many of yours.
She's joined in on your live, just like this.
What I'm saying is she never watches my lives and all that kind of stuff and then comments on them that I know of. So, Stephanie, if you're here, hey, we should send Stephanie a link to join us. That would be hilarious. You want to do that? Think she would?
At Edmund Homestead, I saw it.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe her and Buddy will both join us. That would be so great.
Oh my gosh. They're probably, I would have normal said they're probably at baseball, but I would assume that it's probably rained out tonight. People really wanted me to video you removing my boot.
Oh, I don't mind, but it's not going to, if you're looking for some kind of really cute.
It was a shit show, y'all. It was literally Lester straddling my leg and not in pretty like romantic, like, oh, let me rub your feet ways. No.
I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do feel like, well, see, I know my cute angles or my attractive angles. I know, and I think everyone, no, don't say that you don't. Don't say that you don't. But I'm pretty sure that every man and woman at some age, they learn what angles they look the best at. Yeah. You learn what angle.
It's from up here. This is the standard, like right up here. That's where I want to hold the camera.
Yeah, so you always kind of know. It's, whenever I'm making videos, as a matter of fact, people don't realize this about me, but most of my videos, nothing is ever just shot and edited and uploaded. It's always usually 10 different recordings trying to find the right angles from different things. And so the life of I don't want to know the right word for someone that's so concerned and so worried about how they're going to appear to other people. Don't call me a narcissist again, Jamie. We're not going to have that argument again. We're not going there again. Yeah, mouth drop. No, but you want to look your best. You want to look your best for people. Everyone wants to look their best.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're going live or if you're making a video. You don't just want to be just looking wretched unless you're in a situation where you don't mind looking wretched. But many times you're making a video and you want to make sure you try to give people your better angles. And that means a lot of editing. It means sometimes reshooting a scene if you have to. It's like a full-blown Hollywood production, if you think about it. If anyone could see the links that we go through to try to get quality video, Jamie.
I laugh because I have seen Lester back up and walk, or back up and drive, or back up and reshoot certain things, not necessarily because of the angle of what he looked like, but of what he said, trying to re-say, hey folks, Lester here, without Nate screaming or without Cornholio interrupting, or with sometimes when you're trying to say things that are either profound or you're trying to have a certain sentiment to what's going on and everything around you doesn't align. And that is where I find myself really struggling. Like sometimes I'm out there trying to be really serious, and in the background, Lester's running and screaming, making a whole different video, or the animals are just like not cooperating in a fashion, like they're literally ramming each other, hurting each other as I'm trying to have an emotional moment, all kinds of things. Lester, are you okay?
Yeah, I was going to show something, but I got to figure out how to do this the right way. Give me 1 second.
Oh boy.
No, you just keep on talking. Just keep on talking.
No, I think as you get further into video creation or getting more comfortable talking, like some of the challenges that we used to have was making a video in front of the other person that didn't include the other person. So like Lester
Hey
is
folks, Lester here, and
All right, so I was just going to give an example to illustrate your point. Can I do that real fast?
yeah.
All right, so I was trying to upload this. It was funny that you said that because immediately my mind goes to what you were saying, I make connections to everything in life. And so you said that you have seen me before have to reshoot either from things that I say or things that don't come out right. And I talk fast, so a lot of times my words are all jumbled together, and I'm also a little bit attention deficit, and so I will sometimes lose my train of thought. Today, this is from today, so no one has seen this yet, but all of those things happen at the same time today. And this is kind of an example of what of what you were talking about. All right. No one judged. This is unedited. This is uncut. There's been no work done to this whatsoever. But this is the life. And don't say it's just me, Jamie, because it's not. It's you too.
I know, it's everybody.
And I know I bet you it's Stephanie, and I bet you it's every one of us, along with all the other folks, except for my dad. I don't think my dad does this. I think my dad is like, nah, this is who I am. I'm raw and uncut. I'm Gene. All right, here we go.
hey folks, Lester here, and today I'm going to be going down. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey folks, Lester here, and today I'm going to be going down and opening the back gate to the.
It happens all the time.
Start that all over. Let's try this again. Well, hey folks, Lester here, and today I'm going to be going down to the Longhorns there in the back, and I'm going to open the gate to give them access to the back 38.6. The back 38.6, not 40, but they're going to have access to the back 38.6, and you guys are going to come with me. It's going to be a lot.
Yes. So that is an example of what happens on a very regular basis. Hold on, I'm getting a text from Stephanie.
What's funny though is like in video creation, you can redo it. I find myself on Zoom or on lives where I'm like, shouldn't have said that. Wish I could take that back, or probably wouldn't have said that again as I like replay a moment. And when you get so used to video creation and things like that, that you can edit, you forget when you get on situations like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Over here, we are really, you have to be very confident to ever click that go live button, or you just can't care, just whatever. I just don't care.
Whatever falls out.
Whatever.
My grandma could never go on a live because my grandma has no filter. We would be banned if my grandma joined me on a live.
Well, Jamie, how many times have we had my dad on live and was like looking at each other like, he can't do that, he can't say that. What are we doing? I love my dad. Everyone loves Pawpaw. He's just a really great guy. And I'm having a hard time sending a message to Stephanie. Stephanie, why is it still green? Why have you not gone blue? Why have you not gone blue? Stephanie, the world is going blue, and it'd be a lot easier if you and Buddy would get into the swing of things. Anyway, we're hoping that Steph can join us at some point. And if you don't know what I mean by green or blue, don't worry about it. It's a phone thing.
It's a technical thing.
It's a technical thing.
You know what's funny is whenever you started this live, we were supposed to talk about the weather and what's happening.
Yeah, weather.
And then later on, you're like, yeah, I have a tad bit of attention deficit. And I think everybody's eyes that are watching this right now are like, a little, just a smidge, just a tad.
Yeah. But at this point, seriously, I was going to say at this point in our careers, and these are very short-lived careers. This is only 4 years, I think, for us as video creators. And then 1 year, how long has it been since you've had your channel? Just you?
2 years.
It's been 2 years. So we're still fairly new in all of this. We
are babies in
this.
But
hold on. But wait, you got to remember something. That video creators in general, there's no old timers yet as far as how many years they've been doing this. Well, Stephanie, it did not send. That could be because of the weather. because I have my Wi-Fi on and I have two
You mind
bars
do it
of
on
the
Messenger.
5G.
Do it
Say
on
again?
Messenger.
Huh?
Do it on Messenger.
Send it on Messenger?
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie, I'm going to try to send it to you on Messenger.
Poor
Give me a
Stephanie. She gets 90. She'll get 90 texts. The other day, I got a text from Stephanie at 2:00 in the morning that said, "I really loved your eggplants." And I was like, the next
Stephanie,
thing I was
got Lester all nervous about that.
like, Steph, what were you doing looking at my eggplants at 2 a.m.? And that might have not been the exact same phrase, but it was something very like, it was plant garden and it was like out of nowhere. And I guess that because of our different phone systems, it just showed up. And I was like, what were you doing up at 2:00 in the morning and thinking about my eggplants? And she was like, I sent that at 9 p.m. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, or then sometimes it'll end up going through 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 times, and that's even more embarrassing.
Yes, it feels like at that point in time, you really need somebody to know what you're sending.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, we will talk about the weather real fast before Stephanie joins us. Hopefully she'll check her messenger and she'll jump in and say hi to us. But it has been a rainy day. Now the video that I made earlier, the one that I started, you saw how many times I struggled. That was all before the rain started. Well, we had rains all last night, but that was a break in the weather. But do you know how many inches you've gotten over there total? I know there were two.
Before I came in, there's a total of 3.5.
So that was 2 from overnight and then 3.5 throughout the day. So that's a 5+5+ inches. And that's quite a bit. How's the pond looking?
I don't want to tell you because I made a video about it.
Oh, Lord. So you'll tell me later, right? We can talk later?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have any secrets between us. We just, I have short secrets with everybody watching. No, actually, it looks good. And my weather app says our biggest time of challenge will be coming from 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
So we've had 4 inches here in Plum Grove, but they've been hey, Stephanie's here. Steph, give me 1 minute, Steph. I will say that the 4 inches have been a really nice 4 inches. It's not been one of those heavy downpours where it just like torrentially just washes everything away. It's been a filling 4 inches. The pond looks beautiful. All of the grass in the yard is soaking everything up. So we are blessed for the rain. But did you look at the radar of when we're going to expect our worst?
Yours starts at midnight. So people are just joining and saying, why are you both in different places? So because of the heavy rains and really, I know that there is much of the country going through way worse storms and tornadoes and rain than we are. But when we get storms like this, we stay at separate properties to be able to keep an eye on things, pay attention to animals, and just provide the care that's necessary. And normally, like, I had to say that this is a blessing that it happened tonight, but it is a blessing because normally Lester is with Lex on Thursday nights, and because there's no school tomorrow, Lex is actually there in Plum Grove.
Yeah.
So the timing of this couldn't have been better. It sounds so strange, but we got very lucky.
Yeah. And no, and it's true. And if we were at the same property, we would be consumed with worry of what's going on at the other, and that's always hard. As long as we have animals here or anywhere, I feel like these divide and conquer is what we use a lot. We probably overuse that because there's not much to conquer. We're just kind of just waiting and watching, and we're here just in case we need to be, and you're there in case you need to be.
Right.
And why do you think it is? Why do I always end up at I'm a Survivor and you at Longhorn Lester's?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons when it comes to the rain specifically. So
during the cold weather, you were also there and I was here.
Yes, but that was like, that like the back of your hand, and I feel that
I know the water lines.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'll let you talk.
But I feel specifically strong about you being there during the potential of flood, because sometimes there is a stranded situation where you become an island and the roads better than I know. So like, as far as having to get in or out about what's safe and what's not, that is where I feel like you're the expert and I am not. I am nowhere near that. And it would be riskier for me to to be there should you need to evacuate and back up trailers and everything else. Like me backing up a trailer, while it may happen in a stressful situation, I don't feel like I would be the most confident and capable in that scenario to provide the fastest, safest exit, if that makes any sense.
I'm sorry for the look on my face. I don't know how I must have looked, but it's very rare that you call me the expert or the best at in situational things like that. So I'm just going to jump to Stephanie while I can just keep this high. Let's just keep this high going, and we're going to invite Stephanie in. Stephanie, what are you doing? It's dark. Why are you in the dark?
No, there's light. I guess it's just here.
Are you in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Stephanie, you're being naughty. It's Thursday.
It's the easiest way for my phone's about to die, and I didn't want to sit. I didn't want to have to deal with all that, so now I'm just on my computer. It's in my bedroom.
So you're trying to avoid the kids and Buddy, and you go hide in your bedroom and cry. And tonight you're going to cry on a live with us. Good, that's great.
Okay.
It's like I was not prepared to cry tonight.
How is your big, beautiful garden handling the rain from today?
It's loving it for the most part, but my corn. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My corn patch is like on a slope. So, like my dry pond area back there. So the land kind of goes towards the slope. So I've had to trench it in the rain. So it doesn't like flood like a rice field.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for, so people may not realize, but a dry crop like corn doesn't need lots of water, right? And that's why it does great in sandy soil, but too much water can hurt dry crops. And, it's a dry crop. That's interesting. So I will say this, and this is a testament to Stephanie, and I've told Jamie these exact same words. All of us work at our craft, and our craft right now is whatever we are working on with our videos. But there's no one, Stephanie, and this goes for all of the 11, I think there's 11 or 12 video creators or influencers here on Morrow Hill, and no one spends more time at what they do than you do, because you truly are out there in the mornings when I get here, and as I'm working around the barn doing different things, you're out there the entire day. And whenever I leave to go back to Longhorn, you're still out there. You and Buddy spend so much time doing what you're doing, and I admire that, and I notice that, and so kudos to you.
Thanks. I just want to get it going. I feel like once I get it going and established, then I can come back in and relax a little bit and do my indoor crafts that I like. Like right now, it's perfect weather, so sneak peek or like. Just now, I'm doing a video out there because I was able to harvest zucchini from my zucchini plants, and I'm making zucchini bread from my 100-year-old recipe cookbook. So it's pretty cool because I wanted to take some really old cookbook recipes and just try them out because they're really simple ingredients from so long ago, but then to incorporate my own homegrown stuff in those 100-year-old recipes was super cool. So that's what I'm doing right now is I'm making a video, and I just pulled it out of the oven. And I'm excited to share that with everyone in a few days.
Stephanie, everyone, I would have thought people would have loved to have heard about the 100-year-old cookbook, but all they want to know is why I'm staring at you all day long. From the time I get here to the time I leave, why is it I'm staring at your? I don't think they realize the proximity of our homes to each other. I'm not staring. I'm not staring at Stephanie the entire day. Ask about her cookbook, please.
Oh my gosh. No, we can hear and see each other all day long. In my videos, you can hear Kim hollering at Levi or yelling at Molly, or I can even, the other day, me and Buddy were in the garden, and I heard Jake's laugh, like his iconic, whatever laugh he has. I heard it from my garden. Like, we can see and hear everyone. If something's going wrong, we know about it. Like,
yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. And so we can all look out for each other as well. Jamie,
there are no secrets on the farm.
No,
and that is what I had to learn as an outsider. Like coming there, it may be in the country, but we are in the country. That's like we, not just like Lester and I, or Lester and I and the kids, we are all y'all. We're all together, and we all go out in our robes, or Lester in his boxers. And there are very few secrets on the farm, very few that we all don't just know and just look the other way at whatever's happening outside.
Yeah.
And but it also is very nice to have the safety of each other and to the support as well. So I
Yeah.
can't complain.
I probably shouldn't say this. That's
Oh
God.
no!
That's,
This is normally where I squeeze Lester's leg and I'm like, shut up, shut up.
well, that's God's way of saying, then don't say it. That's God's way of saying, then don't say it.
You're still gonna.
But I'm going to say it because it's Stephanie. I've never heard you and Buddy argue. So, but I'm certain you have heard Jamie and I. And here's how I know that. Whenever I'm right and we argue, no one ever knows. Whenever I'm wrong and we argue, Jamie makes a point that the entire hill hears that argument. And I don't, Jamie, why are you making that face? Why are you making that face? But Stephanie, you guys, for as close as we all are, you guys, if y'all ever argue, I wouldn't even know it because we've never heard it. So
yeah, well, everyone kind of had complained at the very beginning that, not complained, but commented that like we were
Jamie's
the quiet
too loud.
ones.
She is loud, I know.
No, that
Oh,
like I
not
was
that?
quiet and I was always in the background. People always saw me and Buddy, but didn't really get to know us or really know because we just aren't like, okay, when you're a part, I'm going to give you a little insider information about the Morrows. It's hard to, like, if you want to be heard, if you want to get your point across, you have to scream. I'm not a screamer. Well, okay, I'm not a screamer.
Well,
but,
no. That's only if Tina is around. You got to scream, but whatever.
Well, I mean, everyone's loud. I mean, I can get loud, but like it's just like by the time you try to get your point across, it's like the conversation's moved on.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm just not a naturally loud person. So I just, if we did get in a fight, it's probably like a whisper fight. How dare you?
Die in your sleep.
Yeah.
It's Lester and I started dating, and he told me that he spoke Spanish and would, kind of show off a little bit like that. I was like, you know what? That's great. When we argue, if you can say all the things that you want to say in Spanish, I'll never be able to hold those things against you. And this is going to work out perfect. Except for now I've been around long enough that I start to know like every third word. Yeah. So that doesn't work anymore. So.
Yeah. And I think when people argue in Spanish, it's kind of like, I don't know, attractive. It's a very romantic language. So it's like, you could be yelling at me in Spanish. I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Huh. Never thought of it that way. But
yeah. Now Lester's going to be like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Oh, just wait. I'm looking for something now. I'm going to find something.
Oh, no.
Anywho. So, Stephanie, we were talking before you come on about some of our flip-flops, our embarrassing moments, or our redos or retakes or our reshoots. You have any experiences like that? Or I really don't know. Do you ever make mistakes in your video?
All the time. Daily, all the time.
Do you edit them out? Are you really good at editing those things out, or do you just go with it?
No, I most of the time edit them out. There are some times where like I'll leave them in, especially with Buddy, because Buddy, he thinks he might be watching this live. I don't know. Buddy thinks he's like really good at accents.
Buddy is good at Buddy's
he is. But there are some people who'd be like, I'm from Switzerland, and that's not how that's but like, I'll just leave it in because I think it's hilarious. But it's kind of like, and I think we have done a blooper reel. Oh yeah, we did a blooper reel on my nightly routine where Buddy was my hands. That I left the bloopers in at the end because that was pretty funny. But yeah, I edit out a lot of stuff.
That's funny. So is it normally stuff that you say or stuff that you do that you have to edit out? Or do you ever find yourself like at a loss of words, tongue-tied?
No, I do edit out some things I say because I really try not to cuss. I try hard to like, keep it clean and keep it family friendly. But there are times where I get like frustrated and I'll let something slip. So I'll edit that out. Or like Alora, she is not a fan of wearing clothes. So she'll like run through my videos half naked, and I'll have to edit that out. And, you know, I'm like, baby, you have to wear clothes. And Mama has her phone out. Like, we got to get clothes on. She's my little hippie girl and, like, loves to be, you know.
She is so much like her mama.
Oh, well, I don't really run around the house naked, but yes.
Not that I would know. Not that I would know. Not that I would know. Sheesh, that's not what I meant. I meant just as far as her demeanor, her looks, her style.
She does. She gets a lot of her hippie nature from me, I would say.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. And so I have one last question. And it's about Buddy, and I've asked this before. How come he doesn't play the guitar for us?
Oh.
And I still have not seen that on any of your videos. And Buddy is a very gifted musician.
He will. Yeah.
No one knows that about him.
He will. He will. We just need to, you know, we've talked about, like, when is a good time for us to do a live. But right now with baseball and track, we're both boys in baseball and track and everything we've got going on. Once we get kind of past that season, maybe when the kids are out for the school, like summer, we'll do our own live, and he'll get there. But for now, we just don't have like a really authentic time for him to bust the guitar out. But yeah, he's a great guitar player.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I am not that kind of a guy. But I have heard that plants enjoy when people talk to them. Mm-hmm. So how come you don't make a video about Buddy just going by and strumming as he sings to your plants and just watch them just bloom? Just watch
Jamie, did you tell Lester about my talking to my plants?
No, I don't know about this.
I did not tell him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to take up your whole life, but
hold on. I'm reading something. I like when things come across, especially when people write entire paragraphs. I'm a big paragraph reader. Lester, I get your humor. You crack me up. Jamie's, your eyes crack me up. You make me smile every day. I lost my son in 2013, and all of a sudden now there's nothing funny. I have sad days out of the blue. I spend lots of times at home. I had to put my dog down in October. I relate with you on so many different levels. I love all the animals and all your channels. So glad I watched Huck and Shirley on the Jeep. I've been hooked ever since. Hope the weather doesn't get too bad. Many blessings to y'all. Denise, I don't know what to say except for I'm sorry about your son and your dog. We all know that losing animals can sometimes, you have a relationship with them so strong that it feels like losing a family member. So you've been with a double whammy there. And we are blessed to have made your acquaintance. I can't see, the comments are flying by. You guys can't see the comments, so right on your end,
Yes,
unless I post them.
Yeah, we can see
So
them.
are y'all able to read as comments go up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're not able to click them and maximize them.
No.
Okay. So you see how fast everything's flying by, and you would kind of like to be able to pick and choose. So sometimes when I see a lengthy one, it'll get my attention, and I'm trying to read it in time. But that one just kind of saddened me, and I didn't mean to pull it up and take you from what you were saying, Stephanie.
Well, maybe this will put a smile on her face. This small story, and then I'll let you guys get back to your life together. I didn't want to hijack your life. So I was telling Jamie, I was texting Jamie the other day. I said, "Well, I'm just going to read it because I'll redo the text straight from what I sent to Jamie because I was so like embarrassed. I was at the grocery store.
Maybe you should just send it, just in a screenshot, and I'll put the whole thing up here.
No,
You're not going to do that?
no. Where was it?
It was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
We text all day long.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I said. You know you have a problem when you go to put the groceries in the back of your car, and when you open the trunk, you're greeted with some sad plants that you forgot you purchased days ago.
Oh, no.
And Jamie said, bah, ha, ha, I've so been there. I'm about to cuss. Is it okay? Because I said, I literally said, oh, S word. I'm sorry, guys. And I had my trunk open, and I said, oh, beep, I'm sorry, guys, to my plants. Out loud to the plants while other people were walking by, and they were looking at me weird. Like they were walking into this store when I opened up my trunk and said, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. And I like looked around, and these people were like walking and like looking and side-eyeing me. And it was just wilted plants that I forgot that I put in my trunk.
Did your
Anyway.
apology make a difference? Did your apology help at all, or are they still just as wilted?
I think I put them out in the rain and they have just perked right back up. So
Good.
I've repaid them with some good rainwater
They needed that.
after they were left in the car for 2 days.
Well, before you leave us, Jill says, Steph, you should make Lester come see your bees. I think he's secretly scared. Jill has no idea that I have moved them bees, and I did that without a bee suit. So what I normally do when I work with Stephanie's bees is I do myself up like this, and I'll put my arms inside. Yeah, you remember this, Stephanie. This is how I work with bees.
Yeah, on the tractor.
This is my bee suit, and I can drive my tractor fine. And when bees start flapping on my head, I make it work. I make it work. Stephanie has a professional bee suit. She and Buddy look like pros, but you don't have to always look the role. You can still get the job done. So, Jill, I have help with bees.
Yes, and it was a monumental task.
African bees, I believe, too, weren't they?
They were just a really aggressive hive. They were all over me. We had to hose my whole suit down to get them to get off of me. But that was a hard day to move those hives from my chicken yard all the way to the back.
I believe, Stephanie, you weren't making videos then, but I think I made a video of that.
You did. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, so we have that on video. We'll play that again at some point, or at least snippets of it. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, find a way to let Stephanie out of here so she's.
I'll leave the studio. I'll see myself out.
We're gonna boot you. We want to boot you. We gotta boot you, Jamie. Boot her. Jamie, boot her.
I'm not. I don't have the power to boot Steph. First of all,
I'll boot myself. All right, bye guys.
Don't. Bye, Stephanie.
Bye, Steph.
Hey guys, thanks for letting me come on.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love Stephanie. She is a really neat hippie chick. And Buddy, seriously, I love Buddy. He's my nephew, but most men have to admit that we don't deserve the ladies, the women in our lives. We don't. I don't think there's many men that truly do deserve the blessings of women in their lives. And Buddy is extremely blessed with Stephanie because she's smart and she's funny. She has a very, very witty side that I don't think many people get to see. We do because we get her and we're here with her a lot. She's very pretty, takes great care of herself, and great mother. And so I don't mean, Buddy, I'm not staring down here all day, so just relax. Uncle Lester's not staring over there. But no, Buddy is blessed. And so Stephanie is a heck of a girl. Jamie, go ahead.
Oh, Steph's amazing. And I've made videos with Steph and about Steph and said, she's like a sister to me. And it is really neat to have what I would call a soil sister as well, and be able to do this gardening and have things to swap and share and bounce off each other. But, it's more than that. It's been since I, stepped foot on Morrow Hill. Stephanie was the first one to welcome me. And I've, kept her kids when they were sick, and she's kept ours, and she's fed ours, and we do the other, we treat each other as sugar neighbors and sisters. And, it's really important to have someone in your life like Steph, and I'm learning from her all the time, and it's really blessed to be able to do so.
Yeah, Stephanie's great. Has Stephanie ever talked about her former life or what she still does, I guess, part-time as far as her real estate job?
I don't know if I don't know if she's mentioned that in our channel in her channel yet, but yeah, Steph has a plethora of knowledge and skill set, and she is a realtor by trade as well. Yeah.
Okay, Jamie, the reason that you and I came live were to do two things. Number one, let everyone know that our animals are fine. We have had heavy storms, as has much of the country. That band of showers are just moving across the entire, I think, from down south all the way through the eastern coast. But we also had a couple of things we were going to open. You picked out a few things?
Honestly, I brought the whole box.
Oh, sheesh, Jamie. Come on now.
I just thought I would just reach in.
I said three things.
Well, babe, mine's all in like a post office like box. Hold on. I have to move my whole bottle of alcohol out of the way real quick here. The empty bottle. I will show. Look.
Hey, Jamie, listen, on your Timeout Tuesday, that was ridiculous, Jamie. Well, on your Timeout Tuesday, you started to tell a funny story about Cog Hill. and then you got off topic. Is there any way you can tell that story now? This is from Sharon. Sharon wants to know if you'll tell that story now.
Well, I played a little trick on Stephanie this week. Actually, Lester and I both did. And
yeah.
Cog Hill is an incredible channel. And
Jamie, can you hold on before you say it and I can show it?
I'm going to say it and then you can show it. How about that while you're looking for it?
Okay.
So Steph experienced some of the things that Lester experienced because we share a lot of the same audience as Cog Hill. And when Steph was struggling with some of her garden things, all of her comments would say, you should contact Jason at Cog Hill. And when Lester got Carl, everybody told Lester that he should contact Mary Carl at Cog Hill. Mary Carl, like every single comment. So Steph messaged me the other day. She goes, I know who Jason at Cog Hill is and I watch his videos, but I don't know him to be able to contact him. And everybody says I should contact him. So I was like, Lester, you have to tell Jason. You have to tell Jason what's going on. So we played a little trick on Steph. And did you find it, babe?
Yeah, but how do you save it? Oh, here we go. Just give me a chance to save it to my phone.
And Jason has been a good, Jason and Brooke and Mary Carl have always been, they're good friends of ours. They were great sports and in everything that, we've done together. But when Lester messaged Jason this the other day, I had to laugh really hard at what he came up with to send back. And then we played a little trick on Steph and sent it forward to her. Did you get it figured out?
Yep. Give me a second and I'll send it to I'm going to send it to my computer. And from there, I can send it over to we can watch it all together. How about that?
Sounds great.
So that's why I love this StreamYard. It really is a shame that you can't use StreamYard with our Facebook, because it's unfortunate that Facebook people can't see and get this experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. So hold on one second. Normally I do all of this beforehand. I had no idea we were going to show this. I did not know you had talked about that. Tuesday, I felt a little bit Lesterish with my all over the place discussions, but yeah, that was my funny part of Cog Hill that morning. All right. So hold on. Okay. All right. So remember, Jamie, I'm just going to recap what happened and make sure I remember exactly how it went. Jamie had said that everybody on her channel, this happens a lot in the comments
on Stephanie's channel,
kept saying she should talk to Jason at Cog Hill. Stephanie, talk to Jason at Cog Hill. I mean, and listen, that's very kind of everybody. That's very kind to suggest that. But as a video creator, at some point when everyone is saying the same thing, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming. And so even though there were a lot of folks who kept saying to us, contact Mary Carl about the ostrich. Contact Mary Carl. Guys, at this point, we didn't even know Mary Carl. I had no idea who Mary Carl was or Jason. So in a way, it was nice that you guys helped introduce us to the Smiths over at Cog Hill Farm. And now we've become great friends. Jason and I talk daily. We are really, really good friends. We share a lot in common. He's a great family man, a great Christian man, and he's a great farmer. But in saying that, hey, come over here, son. Ellie's here. Come sit beside your dad. But in saying so, whenever Stephanie got that message, when Stephanie got all of those comments that says, you should talk to Jason at Cog Hill, I says, Jason, do me a favor. Do me a favor. And this is the favor I asked Jason to do for me. Here we go. You ready, Jamie?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Hey, Stephanie, this is Jason over here at Cog Hill Farm, where your fans have let me know that you might need some gardening help from somebody that knows.
From somebody that knows. That, I think, is amazing. That we'll remove that at, right?
Yeah, it was just really funny to be able to put Jason up to that. And then Lester and I both sent that to Stephanie, but Lester's made it to Stephanie first. And she replied to me and she goes, please tell me this is a joke, because I just want to go crawl in a hole right now, because if that's really the case, that people are telling me, I'm telling him I'm such a horrible gardener, that's how he knows me now. I'm like, no, we did that. That was us. So
that was us just messing with you. And then Stephanie didn't know that we had such close relations with Jason. Yeah. So that was really awesome. And yes, Ellie has joined me. Ellie's come by to visit. It's been a fun day with me and Ellie. We've had a long talk, lots of stuff going on in our lives. Ellie, how's your life going?
It's going good.
Everything going
I'm
okay?
really exhausted though today.
Why so? Oh boy, if you talk about football, if you start talking about football, I swear to God, Ellie, I'm going to knock you off that chair. Go ahead. Why are you so exhausted?
You just don't get enough sleep. Sometimes you get busy, and so just get some good rest the next night and get it fixed right back up.
I got you. Well, I did see that you posted the video about Dixie. Jamie, I'm not trying to get you emotional or anything, and I know you haven't seen it yet, but Ellie did post his Dixie video. Great video. I love the way that you did that. It was a really nice chit chat that Ellie and I had long before Jamie announced Dixie and the things that are going on with her. And it seemed like people were confused about the timing of that. Did you? Because I saw that you had to go by there and put a statement saying this was filmed before. You want to?
I mean, I feel like we do that all the time though. Like we
do.
We record videos and then we'll upload them a different day. And so it's not like we sit there amongst the whole family and have a committee of, okay, Jake, you upload this at 5 p.m. on April 5th. Bree, you do this on April 6th at 5 a.m. Like we don't do that. We just upload whenever.
It really is. To me, it surprises me that even though we don't discuss dates and all of that, for the most part, it works pretty good with all of us.
I think because in general, when we record something, we upload it. I don't know how y'all do it, but whenever I record something, I upload it probably 2 or 3 days later. So
yeah,
there's exceptions here and there. That video we made probably a month or two ago.
Yeah.
But you told me to hold off on it for a bit. So I just waited until, the time was right to upload it.
So Jamie, I know that you're like lost. You don't know what's going on with all of this. And I apologize by not telling you this earlier, but Ellie and I had a long talk. We were out over at Longhorn Lester's and we were feeding up. This is about a month ago. And Dixie, I would say walked up, but she ran over. Dixie ran over like a wild stallion. Her and Beverly both. And they were just dust flying. Cows are going crazy. The birds are all. It was a very chaotic couple of minutes there as we were putting out feed. And it was fun. Ellie captured all that on video. It's on his channel, Flip-Flop Farmer. But in that, Ellie and I talked about Dixie. And I asked Ellie afterwards not to post that video until you are able to post your video. And it took you a while to post. And understandably so. I get it. It was hard to find the words, I guess, to talk about something so emotional. And so Ellie was kind enough to put it off until people had time to see your video, process your video, and then Ellie posted his yesterday. The problem is, though, in his post, it still showed some of the cows over there who have since been moved over here. And a lot of people were confused on the timing of everything. And how did this, and that happens sometimes. Yeah. But it was a beautiful video. Jamie, let's talk about that for a minute, if you don't mind. I feel like I'm interviewing you. And this is not for me or for Ellie, but this is for everyone who's watching. You've been letting Dixie out more to enjoy. And I will tell you that I've read all of the comments. Ellie had, she's darn near 500 comments on that video. And I read it over and over and over that people are all saying that if the roles were, if they were the person who was in that situation, they would just so much rather their caretaker or their hospice nurse or their partner allow them the freedoms to enjoy the time they have left. Yeah. One lady put an anecdotal little story. Actually, it was a true story. She actually is a hospice nurse. And she said that the lady that she was caring for didn't have much time left. She was a diabetic and had to do I forgot the dialysis. Is that a dialysis? And the lady says, "I'm tired." She goes, "Please, could you just let me be? Just let me." And so the nurse is like, "I'll do whatever you ask." And she goes, "Can you get me a Hershey's?" She wanted a Hershey's bar. Yeah. So they got her a Hershey's bar. And it says that the lady she passed within the week. She wanted all that mess to stop, and she passed within the week. But it said that she was the happiest that she had seen her in years during that last week of her life. And I think all of us, I know Ellie and I talked in the video about that, how if you get to the point in your life where you feel like it's the end of your days, I think that we all just want to be happy and be free and not be restricted. And then Ellie talked about, and you can jump in anytime you're ready, Jamie, but Ellie talked about how in the pasture that we try to keep her in with hay and water, she's still got enough sense to see what's happening around her, but she can't be a part of it all the time. And I don't know if that's harder on her here than just being let out to be a part of all the stuff going on. And I know you have to battle with that every single day of how much can she handle.
Yeah. And we've created a balance. To be honest with you, we have a routine going right now that I think has been very successful for her, and successful for us to find a middle ground on health, but also a good space for her mentally. So every other day she's being let out now for an hour or two. There's not enough grass growing, or there wasn't before this rain, to cause harm to her physically. So letting her out has given her the mental space to go be near the other horses, but not in the same pasture. And all of my horse people, my horse experts like Courtney, Ashley, Rick, Dr. Cochran, all agree that her being even within eyesight like that and feeling like she's doing the same thing that they are is probably some of the healthiest moments of her life right now. And there are sad moments where she forgets how to make her way back, but for the most part, she's doing very well with this routine, and it's every other day. And the other day I tested her because I knew we were going to get these 4 to 5 days of horrific rain. And I didn't make a video about this or anything, but I knew that she wasn't going to be able to get out during that time. So I opened the gate 2 days in a row. And I believe it or not, that second day where it wasn't a day to go out, the gate was open the whole day and she never left. And I thought that was such a profound time and moment for her she had the freedom to go do, but she also knew that physically that day of rest is important for her. So she chose to rest. And fortunately yesterday, the rain didn't start till last night, so she was still able to get her normal. That was her normal. Wednesday was her normal day to be out for an hour or so. And today was an in day because of not just weather, but also for her. But we're finding a balance, and I'm sort of taking cues from Dixie. If she needs more or she needs less, I'm just being very attentive, which is part of the reason that a lot of my time is right here at Longhorn Lester's.
And also, people should know that even an end day, you've adjusted her end days to include the goat yard as well. Yeah. So she's not just confined to her. So her particular pasture is 50 yards by 50 yards. Now, when I say 50, those are my big steps. No one took a measuring tape out there or a rolly wheel and measured.
That's Morrow measurement.
When I measured the pastures, I took 50 big steps. I put a stake or a flag in this end, and I took 50 big steps and I put one over there. And then I went from the corner and I walked 50 that way. Now, what I did do is square it off. I'm huge on everything has to be squared up. You know me. So she lives, her actual pasture is a 50 by 50, very shaded, a little bit of grass, some sand to roll around, and they do their little dust baths. But we do keep her special hay. What's that kind of hay called? Is it coastal hay?
It's coastal hay for horses, yeah.
We keep her a very clean coastal hay and clean water. And but when we built those when we cross-sectioned our pastures, we left gates that divide them all. And so Jamie will open the gate that allows her to go into the other pasture now, which is an additional 50 big steps by 50 big steps.
But to her, it's closer to her friends.
Uh-huh.
So she has mentally still, she's like, oh, I'm going to go see my friends. Even if they're not in the same pasture or not right across the driveway, there's a little bit of space in there. But to her, it's still this is where I go today.
It's a mental stimulation as well. And even the goats are used to her. And it's like this afternoon when all the rain started, Dixie ran into the Wacky Pack shack.
Yeah.
And all the goats were like, "What about us? Where do we go?" But no, she's not sharing. She's sitting there looking over that wall, her and her little sidekick right there.
Yeah.
It made the poor goats run over to her side, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
But we love her. And you're right. It's really neat on the days that she's out because as the other horses walk the fence line, here's Dixie and Beverly, and they literally go all the way to the end, and they make their trips together. And so even though she's not right there side by side, she is. She's just the driveway, which is 12 foot away in her own pasture.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. But it was a nice video, son. So thank you for that. And thank you for doing that. And thank you for being respectful and giving us time to let Jamie's video play out and get that addressed. All right, Jamie, we do have a couple of packages to open. Do you want to add anything else? Or
No, not necessarily.
did you come back to eat?
No, I actually I made a terrible mistake. I went over there to give them a little bit of green hay because some of it got wet.
Oh,
and
no.
I made the mistake of throwing the hay and rubbing my eye.
I was just going to say, I can see that you need an allergy pill.
My eyes is terrible.
Oh, my gosh. Is he allergic to green hay?
No, it's because I got it on my hand and I rubbed my eye afterwards, and that was a bad idea.
So talk about that, Ellie. That's kind of an interesting point, the green hay. What did you do with it and why?
Honestly, I don't see eye to eye with you completely on it, though. I'll be honest.
It's okay. You know what? Me and my dad don't see eye to eye on stuff.
I'll tell you what you said was that it's good to do the green hay on rainy days as opposed to the grain, because the grain will get mushy.
Okay, let's pause right there for a second.
From the rainwater.
So I've always thought that when we feed our grains, that's great. You feed your grains, but when it's a rainy day, you don't feed grains because grains will get mushy. And when they get soggy, our animals won't eat them. I don't know if it's the texture or the taste changes, but animals won't eat soggy grains. So on rainy days, we always have plenty of alfalfa or Timothy grass, which is a green hay, to feed. And so you don't agree with that part?
I didn't say it's not that I disagreed with. I thought it was a good idea.
I'm loving this. I'm trying to elaborate, get this out of you.
No, I'll explain it also. Like you said, grain is mushy. I equate it to mushy French fries. Nobody would ever want to eat that. Gross.
No,
right?
I wouldn't.
And so the green hay is a little bit better for rainy days, but it's best to still put it under some sort of shelter. Why make it wet if it doesn't have to be? And so I was going to go out there and do what you said and like refeed them the green hay, but put it under the barn or something. But then I saw them eating it just fine. They were eating like peacefully and like without any hesitation whatsoever.
Then it must have stopped raining at that point.
Well, yeah, it had stopped raining. And so I was kind of torn because like, okay, my dad wanted me to do this. I don't want to not do it. But at the same time, they're eating just fine.
Yeah. So what happens is, and Jamie, I'm not trying to keep you. I know we're going to open gifts. If you got time, Jamie, you got time, or you're in a hurry?
I'm here. Again, I can hear it coming down now.
Oh, so I can hear it too at your place, not here. Goats don't like the water. Goats do not want to be out in the water. And so what I told Ellie is on rainy days, when we feed the green hay, you can still put the green hay out for the cows, the horses, donkeys, whatever, out in the weather, because they'll eat out in the weather. And hay, doesn't matter if it's wet or dry, they'll eat it. But goats will eat wet green hay, but they don't want to be in the rain. So I asked him to just refeed and carry the green hay into the little's barn. But when he went out to do that, it had stopped raining. So the goats had come out to eat the green hay. So that's not like we disagreed. It's just the rain had stopped. But how are your thoughts? You want to share your thoughts on you and Megan being a full-time part here at I'm a Survivor? And I know I put Ellie on the spot here because he did not come in to talk about all of this. He came in to love the cat.
I didn't know you were here. I came in to get something. I was going to head home actually, but no, we're really excited because this will be home very, very shortly. It'll be. I can't see a thing wrong with it. Usually when you make a big decision, there's some pros and there's some cons, but this is one of those decisions where there's not really any cons whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Well, this has been a dream of mine for a very long time. Long before long before we had ever purchased Longhorn Lester's, that property. That's been over a year now. I've always told Ellie that, that obviously in the Morrow family, what we've always done, and this goes back for generations, is your father, passes your land on to your son. We don't have money to pass on. We just pass on some land. So now you pay the taxes. And so Ellie has always known that at some point he and Lex would inherit, land. But it wasn't until we purchased Longhorn Lester's that Ellie and Lex, now they had an option of which piece of property they would like to inherit. And I asked you first because you're the oldest. And I says, Ellie, I says, if something was to happen to your dad and I was to not be able to maintain or continue on with what I'm doing, which piece of property would you prefer out of the two properties? We have, Jamie's at 15 or 16 acres here. 11 plus 5. So that's 16 acres here.
Yeah.
Or there's 20 acres at Longhorn Lester's. And you told me what? You remember those words?
Yeah, I said the sanctuary. I forgot why, but it was a.
I don't know why. I just want to be here. I just want to be here.
No, I forgot what I said then, but it was probably something about like the legacy that the sanctuary has. And it's like the Longhorn Lester's was pretty new at that time when you asked me. And so
people don't know that you grew up right here in this front yard playing football. You have the trampoline where we played wrestling. We had the pool where we had all kinds of fun. And then, of course, family. We have family all around us. So Ellie has grown up always surrounded by his cousins and his grandparents and everybody else here on Morrow Hill. So it wasn't a surprise to me of which property you'd rather have. And so I feel like this is something that I'm excited about. And I know it must be difficult for Megan probably, and you, I would think. Y'all live in the city now, so you're a lot closer to everything. And coming out here, you're 20, 30 minutes away from everything, maybe even more, depending on how traffic is. Does that bother you or scare you at all?
Well, I've already done my Google Maps
searches and smart kid.
All the important things aren't that much farther.
You make it work
here than it would be in the city.
Okay.
That's another reason is that over here, like it is in the country, but it's not quite as desolate. There's still stuff around.
I think that you're probably, as long as we have good internet, and as of right now we do.
Yeah.
That's important. All right, well, we're gonna open some gifts. I love you.
I love you too.
Leaving now?
Yeah, probably.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
I love you.
Don't worry about my eye. I'm okay. It happens sometimes when I look at screens too much. The hay probably didn't help though. Everyone's worried about my eye.
Oh, I can't read a comment. My eyes are blurry. That's all blurred to me, Ellie. I have no idea what they're saying.
Well, if I do this, I can see it just fine.
So what should he do then? Did I say telling you what to do?
They're saying
Visine, rinse it out.
A lot of different things. Rinse it out. Allergy pill. There's a bunch of ideas. But truthfully, I'll probably wash my hands and get some rest, and it'll be better tomorrow.
So you know what I've always done? You want to come close and I'll do it?
What?
So I want you to take your top eyelash and pull your eyelash out so far that and then pull it down over your eye, like down as low as it can go. Jamie, does this look really pretty gross? No, that will make.
Doing.
No, listen, this is true. You take your top eyelash and you pull it down really far.
You should start with using soap on your hands and then
this is going to make your eye naturally water. It will flush out your eye without having any water. This is something that you learn in nature. And so I like hand washing, Jamie. I like hand washing. Let's wash our hands. Let's all just go wash our hands. Anyway, Ellie, if you want my advice, I would say take your top eyelash and pull it way down over your eye. And that's a dad's advice compared to a mom's advice. Just go wash your hands and maybe gently sprinkle some water on it, and then I'll sing Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya, Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. There you go. You're good. All right, love you, son.
All right, love you too.
I don't know where to go with that. I don't know where to go. Jamie, open a gift for me. Love you, son. Drive safe, please.
So recently, we have received a lot of gifts, and Lester and I stopped doing gift and goodies a while back because we just felt strange that here we were receiving blessings, and it felt wrong to celebrate that.
Well, with the economy, Everybody is struggling. Everybody is paying $6 or more for gasoline. Everybody is having to pay what they're paying for eggs and bread. And just in the economy that we're going through, it just felt very unfair that we're sitting here opening gifts, knowing that people, everybody, there's nobody who's not having to pay those same prices for things that we used to pay a lot less for. So we just kind of felt awkwardly weird about opening gifts.
I
And
still
good.
do, for the record, but I also know that I struggle with, like, I always keep everything that comes, I keep, and I make this list of, I'm going to find this person and say thank you. And it's very hard to, all of a sudden that list is like pages and pages long. So I'm terrible at sending the thank you or writing a thank you card and doing all the things that I say I'm going to do because I just run out of time. So I told Lester I was going to start doing just reels or something of the gifts. And then tonight we ended up in 2 different places because my plan was to do little snippets of opening these gifts, and here we are to hang out with y'all. So my first one says, to Jamie, I was thinking of dear sweet Dixie and how blessed all of us are, and so how she has blessed us all in so many ways. Thank you for sharing her life, from Chrissy. And what a fitting, how sweet is that? So that is a really neat ornament with, it says Dixie inside of it, and it's got glitter hanging from it, and that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
I don't want to cry.
Where do you hang it though?
So they make these really neat stands. Like if you look on the shelf over there at I'm a Survivor, there's one that has Maggie on it, and there's one that has Journey on it that other people have sent us. So that is what I will do with Dixie as well. So thank you very much.
Yeah. So I'm going to open one. This over here comes from Mrs. Joanne in Minnesota, and it comes to Lester, and it is a newspaper. Okay, there's 2 pieces of newspaper here. Read this story, part 1, and then part 2 is in the next paper, and then it's on page 4B, and it says farm succession planning. How crazy is that?
Seriously?
Page 6. I'm not making this up. I swear on Jesus's Bible, on the Holy Bible, that this is what it says right there. And so if Ellie didn't just darn near walk out the door, and then it says page 6B talks about passing your farm onto the next generation. So I'm not going to read that right now. Oh, well, actually, it's like the big title over here.
Hey.
Passing the farm onto the next generation. Jamie, can we just talk about that for a minute? Uh-oh.
What are you doing?
That was my finger. Clicked it accidentally. Oh, there's more. Oh, my gosh. Look, Jamie. What a blessing.
Wow.
Can I read it?
Sure.
Hey, Lester, I have my coffee every morning while watching all the Morrow videos. It starts my day off with a smile. I live in a rural area that is building up, but we still have a local newspaper we get once a week. As I was reading the issues enclosed, I remembered you talking about your Uncle Raleigh and Pawpaw passing on their farms. I thought you may be interested in these articles and know it is something many families struggle with. I have been real interested in the history of your property. I live near the upper Mississippi River and have heard stories of the history of the area. There was a ferry crossing near my land long ago. My dad talked about cutting ice blocks from the river and delivering the ice storage buildings to a nearby town. Too many stories to tell. Oh, I have so many stories to tell you now. I love that you 2 are feeding and rescuing dogs. I volunteer at the local Humane Society. I love Hank, Trudy, Christmas, and Ringo. Oh, and Trixie. Keep doing your thing. You have a great personality. Tell Jamie hi. Yours truly, Joanne. And then they call her Rocky.
Wow. Very thoughtful.
That is. Man, I can see better with glasses on. Too bad they look so dorky on me.
They don't look dorky. You look handsome with them.
So actually, that wasn't about the Ellie part at all. It was more about my Uncle Raleigh and my dad. And so there's not a lot to say about that, in the fact that both of my Uncle Raleigh and my dad come from a different generation. and where they hold on to everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am not criticizing, and it's not my place to be going and asking for stuff. But both Dad and Uncle Raleigh have always held on to everything. They don't let anything go. Anything. Anything. I've made a joke that I can go by and ask Dad for a 2x4 out in the barn, and he'll say no because he needs it for something. And that same 2x4 has probably been there for 10 years before I asked for it, and it's probably still there 10 years later. But no, that generation comes from a really tough era, and where folks just hold on to stuff for just in case scenarios, I think. And so Uncle Raleigh passed away, last year, and had never given off or deeded off anything to his children. It all ended up in probate court, which was just a mess. And then, of course, my dad is still young and he's doing great, but it'll be up to my dad to decide when that day happens. It's not my place. But what I'm going to do, my plan, and Jamie and I have talked about this before, is that we're going to give to our kids while they can still enjoy it, while they're young enough to enjoy it. And so I am more than happy to know that I'm a Survivor will go to Ellie. And even though he's only 23, and when I say only, that's still very young, guys. That's 23 is still young. And even though Jamie at the age of 23 already had a kid, and me at 23 was finishing my college degree, we were a more mature generation at 23 than what I think kids are today at 23. Jamie, please help me out before I put my foot in my mouth. And I want, if Ellie says that he's ready, he and Megan are ready to take on a more active role in farming and doing what we've been doing our entire lives. And of course, Ellie has been here through all of the Hurricane Harvey experience, and he's been here through all of the rescues, all of the animals who we've had that have been rehomed to us, all of our babies. Ellie's been a part of all of them. And if he wants to take over that role of being their primary caregiver, then I'm all excited about that. It'll make sure that I can kind of watch and see him grow into his role. And I can be here to help him do that if he needs. Now, I won't be here, like looking over his back. By the way, Jamie, I told Ellie that we'll be having to remove the cameras. I don't think him and Megan want to be spied on all the time, but we'll be here enough throughout the week to make sure the animals are doing great, and that Ellie and Megan, for any questions, then we're right here. Just ask us. But I also want Ellie to know that he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. I want him to know that it's his and that he can make decisions. And I want him to learn that he may make some bad decisions, but that's how we learn from mistakes that we make. That's how we learn. No one is going to know. Jamie and I, we didn't know.
We still don't know. We still don't know.
If I can copy from our friend Rick, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And right now, Ellie and Megan, they may not know what they don't know, but they'll learn. And I'm so blessed that you and I will be right here to help them when they need our help. And they're okay with us offering advice, but we're not going to demand that they take it. It's similar to passing Moo, Santoro, and Annabelle over to Jake. Jake worked for us for a year, so Jake is very familiar with the way that we do things. But he's also lived here his entire life, and he's familiar with the way that my dad does things. And so it's not for us to tell Jake what to do or how to do or any of that kind of stuff with his animals, because they're his now.
Well, I would argue and say that that's the same with your dad and you. So you were raised here and watched your dad do things certain ways, and you made decisions about how you were going to do things. And while I may not have grown up on a farm, there are things that my parents did or do that I chose not to do, or vice versa. And that's just normal. So I think that that's just a way of life. And it's going to be a pleasure to be able to watch and learn, because Lester and I need to acknowledge that we don't know everything, and that we can learn from both their mistakes and from their wins as well. And we will. Anyway, I opened another gift. Is it okay if we change?
I watched you doing it. Let's see. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was cool because I was excited about this one because it comes from overseas. It has this really fancy postage on it, and it has a customs declaration, and it comes from someone named Gaynor Ellis. And this is crazy, but unnecessary. But she did send. Okay, so this says 20 Bank of Scotland, and it has. I've never seen. It says 20 pounds. I have never seen. Is it a British pound? Is that what it's called?
A pound. Yeah, that's British. That's
I've
maybe,
never
maybe
seen this.
all of the UK. I don't know. Does it say on there Bank of UK or does it say Bank of London?
It says Bank of Scotland.
Oh, so yeah, so it's the entire UK then would be the pound.
It's really neat. They have really cool currency. I've never seen anything like it, but it was completely unnecessary to send. And thank you. In it comes a tool that you use for making horse knots, and it's a tether tie, which is really cool. I have a lot to learn about this, but it's about different pressures and how the rope is utilized with it. And it came with a card, and it says, "Dear Lester, Jamie, and all the family and wonderful babies, thank you for providing wonderful videos and joy and entertainment through all of through all of your antics." She says, "I really love catching up on all that's going on and following the family's pages. I don't have lots of pennies, but want to be able to share what I want with one of my favorite sites, which is you."
Oh.
She says, "Please use it for Dixie and the other babies. Sending much love and many blessings from Gaynor." That's really awesome, and I thank you for being so
she's
thoughtful.
in Scotland.
Apparently so.
Doesn't it baffle you the way anybody from, that far away would ever know about us and then end up falling in love with one of our babies? Well, she has a thing for Dixie, obviously. And so that's beautiful. I'm not trying to spoil the moment, Jamie. That's a beautiful gift, and we appreciate that. Now, I'm just going to address something. And I'm so, Miss Black, I'm sorry for calling you out, but you're not the first person to say this. I've been reading this for a while, and I don't know if it's the same people or if it's just a general consensus. But for everyone saying, Lester, stop talking, let Jamie talk. Guys, shame on you for not knowing the woman that you're looking at right there. Shame on you for not knowing what a strong woman she is. And Jamie can and will and has shut me up a number of times to say what she wants to say when she wants to say it. She does not need any help ever from you all to tell me to shush and let her talk. So
I promise you, I'll tell him, and I'll find a way to mute him if I need to. I'll go on my own dang live if I want to talk. This was actually Lester's idea to come tonight, and normally we kind of have our this is what we're going to talk about, this is what we're going to do, all these things. Tonight was kind of on a whim, and I think that secretly he probably wanted to spend time with me, and this is really how, and he didn't want to say it because that's kind of that wouldn't be very manly of him to be able to say. I really was looking forward to a nice romantic evening together, and this is the only way we can spend time together without losing his man card. So y'all got to join in on date night, I guess.
Better than what you do. Hey Lester, what are you wearing?
I do not do that
anymore.
I know what you're wearing. It's typically Crocs and that shirt and the same shorts because you have
my hat and my hat. I'm going to go ahead and hide that comment now, Mrs. Black, and I'm sorry for calling you out, but you don't mind calling me out, so it can work both ways here. It does. It works both ways. If you're going to call me out like that, and everyone knows that I've been known to ramble a little bit, and that may have been a joke, Jamie. She may have been joking. It could have been a joke. But when you read it once, okay, then you read it twice, okay, then you read it again,
I talk on Time Out Tuesday relentlessly so much that I apparently can't finish my own stories that I start and have to now do them on Thursday nights with Lester.
Exactly. So I think that one of the neatest things about you and I is that we have banter back and forth. We're able to banter. And if you don't know what that means, if you watch other internet couples do a live together, sometimes it's easy to see that someone runs the show and the other person is just kind of a filler, just kind of space taker upper. But one thing that I think that Jamie and I do very well is compliment each other. I don't mean compliment with an I, but compliment. We do very well together because we're able to banter, and that's entertaining. But to be entertaining, you have to let us do what we're doing, and I will talk and Jamie will jump in. And I'm so sorry, I'm going to call you out again, but if y'all don't notice, Jamie does more talking with her facial expressions than any words could ever do. I'm sorry if that offends you, but Jamie talks more with her facial expressions, her pretty facial, her gorgeous little facial expressions, her lips, her eyes, sometimes a little sideways looking thing that girls do. But Jamie can do all those things. And so she doesn't need to talk like I do. I have nothing going here. I have nothing here. Nothing. So all I got is this. This is all I got right here. So please allow me to use it, okay? Let me use my tools, Jamie. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. This comes to Lester Morrow, yet look at what it says. These are vinyls. Vinyls that say teeny weeny.
I love it.
Dragon Rescue. And it has a dog print in the back of it. Yeah, these are vinyls, Jamie. So that was probably meant more for you than for me.
Okay.
A little note. Keep up the good work. Enjoy. It's from Christy and Ella, and they're in Oregon.
Aww. That's awesome. Thank you. It is time for and some updating to the weenie wagon because people have sent things that are really neat. I guess that I'll make some of that my project this weekend since we might be stuck inside because of the rain. So that sounds really fun.
She also included lots of different little keychains. Well, they're all the same,
cute.
But they have that same thing on them, the little truck, the little weenie wagon with the paw print.
So, and probably a girl's night out in the weenie wagon. It's probably time for that too, to be honest. So
thank you, Christy and Ella. That's lovely. And that's really sweet. Thank you.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. I did not pre-open this one, so I'm not real sure what we got here. Okay, so this comes from someone named Louise, and she put in her card, and it says that she is a professional nanny. While this is addressed to Jamie, I don't know that I need a professional nanny, but Lester kind of needs one sometimes.
Hold on, can I pick her out? Is it okay if I choose the nanny?
No.
That's a typical guy answer.
It says, okay, so I got a San Francisco postcard. It says, "Good morning, Jamie. Enjoy the bottle opener." So I'm trying to open the package right now. I noticed that you didn't have one, but you really should. It's true, I didn't have one. If you remember, Lester, I made you run out to go get me one.
Yes, I do remember. Dollar General.
Oh. Okay, so this says USA 1896 on it. Let's see here. You should put this in your emergency kit in your RV in case you ever need it. Oh. And she said, "I'm sitting here drinking my first cup of coffee and deciding what I should do today. Dig in my garden or do my errands. And you have inspired me to dig in my garden. Love, Louise." So that's really sweet. I have been watching a lot of people in the comments that say, "Jamie, I've never grown anything in my life, but you inspired me to get one pot and start one plant." And I think that that's amazing because for me, I could have 3 years ago, if I walked by something that Lester was trying to grow, it would die. And for whatever reason, last year, starting the garden at Longhorn Lester's with my mom has literally allowed me to just take on this new passion that I didn't even think that I would have. And Lester, take that down. Take it down.
I'm gonna take her out of my life is what I'm gonna do.
Then take the comment down. We're not talking negative tonight. We're talking positive. Thank you. So anyway, I'm madly in love with gardening, and Lester made a video today announcing something really big that is happening here at Longhorn Lester's that I didn't ever dream would be real for me. And now it's all I can think about. And I have to give credit to Lester because I wouldn't say I was dropping hints about it, but I've been hemming and hawing around the thought of a greenhouse. and he picked up on it. And I wasn't intentionally dropping hints like, boy, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that. I didn't know if it really was for me or not, or if it's something that I'm, is going to be terrible at this year. And last year was just a fluke. But as I've gotten further into it, I am madly in love with gardening, and I don't know that will ever change, because the more that I try and fail or succeed, the more I want to keep going. So I'm ecstatic and excited. And if you want to know the plans for that, you have to go see the video on Longhorn Lester's and the steps that have been taken already, because it's happening and I want to do backflips about it.
It is happening. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
All right. So this over here comes to Lester Morrow. It comes from a warehouse. So I don't really know exactly what to. Oh, wow, Jamie. Now I do know what this is, and I have used one before. The problem is I always misplace mine. So this is a fence post leveler. So what you do is
of the dang tool cart is probably where it's at.
Well, now I'm going to take off the little thing here and show you how this works. This is a really neat thing to use. So if you're building a fence, and this lady must know I build a lot of fences. I build a lot of fences. And that's kind of something that I'm pretty good at. And I'm not trying to brag, because no one likes someone to brag on themselves. But when you're good at something, you can't help but take pride in it. And so the more that I build, the more I enjoy them. So what you do is, if you have a fence post that you're working on and you put that post in the ground, you can put this on your post to make sure that it's level, not only going up and down, but also that it's not leaning side to side.
Wait, that tool's actually for me, because I'm typically the level holder person.
Yes. So it's able to level your post both ways. You don't want your post to be leaning back. You don't want it to be leaning sideways. And so if you only have a level, you have to put it here and then move it here, and then sometimes put it back over here. But that right there allows it to do both at the same time, which is a really neat tool to have. And those work out great. And then it has this little strap that goes around it, so you can actually put it on the post. So you can actually strap that onto the post first, around the post. And then when you stand the post up, all you got to do is make sure that you can see your two levels.
Hold on a second. This is replacing me.
Yeah, I can actually have both my hands now. I don't have to do my little bunny hop and use my chin and all of that kind of stuff. So that's a great gift. Let me see what the note says. Well, there's not going to really be a note because it comes from a company, but they sometimes will allow you to put something on there, and there's no note attached. There's nothing attached to say who it's from. So I'm so sorry for that, but I do appreciate the gift. So thank you very, very much. All right, you're up, Jamie.
I have one more. That's all I got. And this one is actually addressed to Billy Bob.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, he's going to be so happy. Billy Bob got him some Rachel Ray nutrition.
Oh, the healthy stuff.
The healthy stuff. Billy Bob likes these. I will say Billy Bob is a light eater in reality. Yes, he's a little guy, but that's not a dig at him. He loves love more than he loves food. So he will enjoy this, but one of these will take him probably 3 meals to finish, because he's just a light little eater, and we love him.
And something else about Billy Bob is we're probably going to have him for the rest of our lives. Because we've had 2 people want him and then back out. James, 2 people have contacted us who were very serious inquiries. Like, they were very serious that Billy Bob was going to change their lives, and they needed this dog. And so we began to pursue the first person who reached out to us, and then a week later they backed out. And I'm not going to say the reasons why, but that's fine. And then we had a second person who was very serious about Billy Bob, and then a week later they backed out. And so we've had 2 very serious inquiries on Billy Bob, and they have both backed out. And I'm not real sure why.
I think that there's a lot to be said for someone acknowledging that it's not the right fit. And whether it's their own life circumstance or they've had something changed from the time we started talking till that moment, I think that that's really noble to do. And it's okay.
So there's a couple of things I was going to address. Are you still going on, Billy?
I just want to read the thing. It says, "Welcome home, sweet boy," from Cindy and Randy Tucker. So they also sent 2 toys. And I will tell you, this little tag right here will be the money maker of the reason that this toy becomes his favorite. He likes to take things by the little pieces and tuck them into his bed. He's a little bit of a bed hoarder. So he takes things and he puts them in the corner of his bed. So this is really sweet. Thank you.
So someone, I'll pop it up in just a second. And then I'm going to address DS. DS says, Pawpaw needs some fence repair help, but he might not admit it. He's afraid to let his goats out, afraid they will eat your feed room. So DS, Pawpaw does not need fence repair help. There is nothing wrong with Pawpaw's fences. Jamie, am I right or wrong about that?
Yeah, Pawpaw has good fences.
My dad has great fences. My dad allows his goats out. Now, if my dad has told you he needs fence repair, he's just saying that because he doesn't want you to know that he has this. He's Pawpaw. And I love my dad, but part of my dad's daily routine has always been to allow his goats to graze in free range. They do come home at night and he closes them in where they're nice and safe. But by day, he opens the gate and they all go out.
And it was fine until they discovered the feed room. And now that they know about the feed room, they're little, crack addicts. And they just don't, that's all that they think about and love.
So. Yeah, so I've noticed that a lot. People are always saying you all should get together and help Pawpaw. Guys, my dad does not need help. As a matter of fact, me and Fidel, when Fidel was here, we redid all of my dad's fencing. And so my dad has no fencing problems. There's 5,000 folks watching this, 5,230 out of all the channels. So y'all remember and y'all let everyone know when they start saying, y'all should get together and help Pawpaw. So Pawpaw's fences have all been repaired. My dad has no bad fences. If an animal is out, it's because my dad let them out and did not keep track of where they were going. And so that's going to answer that question and put that to rest, hopefully. But over here is the one that I was getting to. I think Billy Bob belongs with you. He fits right in. He even goes to the pastures with you. But Corin, I think I may have said your name wrong. Whenever I'm guess a name, I'm always going to be wrong. That's just how it goes with me. Corin, you don't know that Billy Bob does go to the pastures, but that's not always a good thing, Jamie. Why not?
Because Billy Bob has no sense of self. Billy Bob's only sense is that he wants to be right by me. And he doesn't realize that there's a big donkey that would like to figure out what the heck he is because he's small. And the donkeys have no concept of what he is. And poor Billy Bob Beverly will sniff him. And I don't think that Beverly has like this mean streak in her all the time. She's a little bit of devil in her every once in a while. Mm-hmm. But Beverly wants to play. And Billy Bob has not reached the play moment yet. Billy Bob is still in like very much the neediness piece of it. And keep in mind, we've had Stella for 6 weeks now?
It's been a while.
And Stella has just reached where she's comfortable with a little bit of playtime. So Billy Bob is not, tomorrow is 2 weeks for Billy Bob. And he's still very much in the just like finding who he is here. So he doesn't know that Beverly wants to play. He just looks over his shoulder like, what is it? What is it? It makes him panic even more and start to squeal. And then that makes Beverly believe that she has done something really fun. And it's just a bad situation and he's going to get hurt. So whenever I go to the pasture, he either comes in and we close him in, or I make Lester, or last week Lex, hold him while I go do my chores really quick because Billy Bob doesn't have that sense yet.
And then there's something that we discovered about Billy Bob this week that we had no idea about. We have a kennel and we had got it out just so Jamie could put Billy Bob inside of it while she goes and, when she has to work, when she doesn't want him to get hurt. And that was just something that we did just for that one day, but we left the kennel sitting on the porch opened. And now, for some unknown reason, Billy Bob spends a lot of his free time sitting in that kennel. and he goes inside and he sits there and he just looks out and he's able to look around.
The door wide open.
We don't close the door. And that makes me wonder if at some point in his little lifespan, if at some point he had an owner that had a kennel and he spent time in a kennel. Because I don't think that many dogs would actually want to go into an enclosed space unless they feel comfortable and safe inside there.
I
And
think it's very much a safety thing. Like he feels, you know, just content in his little kennel, and that kennel sits on the porch. It's not, I mean, he can see out and look at everything going on. And I only put him in there on Thursdays before, whenever Lester was with Lex, I would have to put him up so that I could do all the chores for everybody. And it was just the safest way. And the first day he cried, which was heartbreaking and awful, but I hurried up and came back and loved him. And then it's sat here since then with the door wide open, and he loves to go in it, and he just hangs out there. And sometimes I'm like, where's Billy Bob? And all of a sudden here he comes out. And then the neatest thing that happened the next thing that happened this week is somebody sent him a poncho, and it is the cutest little thing. Like, it's kind of like, do you know what a thunder jacket is, Lester? Have you ever heard of a thunder jacket for dogs?
No.
It's like compression, and the compression makes them feel safe instead of just it kind of same way that the kennel has or whatever. Billy Bob will not let me take that off of him. Oh. Billy Bob has been sporting that poncho now for
security blanket
the whole week, and he loves it. And now poor Lester and I have been calling him Poncho the whole dang time because
I've changed his name to Poncho. It fits him anyway.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, no. So Billy Bob is still available. I'm going to say this, and this is going to come out wrong, but Stella has chosen me. She needs me, and Christmas has chosen Jamie, and there's no way we could ever move them along. But Billy Bob really just wants anybody who will pick him up and hold him. He doesn't care if it's Lex. As a matter of fact, last weekend he slept in the RV with Lex the entire weekend, and he was completely content. And so during the week, if I'm there and Jamie's not, he's in my lap, and I just can't always walk around holding a dog in my arms. And if Jamie's there and I'm not, he's with her. If we're both there, then he's back and forth. And he just wants to be in someone's arms all the darn time.
Sure.
And so
he's a great little guy, and he's perfectly fine here too. But if there was someone that said, you know what, I would love to give Billy Bob a home, I would love to have him as my companion, he would love that. And he is slowly starting to become more of a dog, because at first it was not that way. At first he had they were the dogs and he was Billy Bob, and he wanted nothing to do with them. He is starting to get more comfortable with the routine here. His anxiety's gone down, all of those things. But, you know, Billy Bob is teaching Lester and I things too through this rescue process. They all have taught us different things. And I'm sure that's how it's going to continue as well. Billy Bob does great with little kids. Billy Bob does great, you know, with other dogs, with cats, with that type of thing. But what Billy Bob wants is a lap. That is what Billy Bob wants.
Yeah. So every animal wants or needs something, and Billy Bob just wants a lap, and that's all he needs. The comments have all shifted, Jamie, and I'm so sorry to bring this up again, but they're all going back to fencing. And guys, I'm going to tell you this again, and you're hearing it straight from this guy's mouth. You can quote me on this. If there's any fencing to be done on Morrow Hill, it will be me and my fences, Jake and his fencing, or Uncle Dan with his fencing. All of my dad's fences are fine. And I will say again that me and Fidel went by and redid every fence, and nothing has happened to the fences. So y'all let that go. Let that go, and don't make that become the focus of tonight's channel comments. There's too many neat things going on to y'all to be arguing and fighting over fencing.
If there's fencing that needs to be fixed, the whole family will pitch in to do it. That's the thing.
Hell, we will. I fix my fences and no one helps me, Jamie. The whole family will pitch in. We're all going to do it together. Okay, you help me, Jamie. You help me.
I'm like, hold on a minute. I definitely have helped, relentlessly helped. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what I was doing.
You know what I mean by that. Stop acting like this whole family going to all come together and have a big work day. No, they don't do that. Everyone but
We'd all
fencing,
pile in the weenie wagon. Maybe the girls will. Maybe the girls
maybe
will pile in
girls
the weenie
will.
wagon and we'll go fix fence.
All I was trying to say is there's no broken down fences. If there's a fence that might not be as good of a fence because bulls will push through, that's not a fencing issue. That's because bulls are going to be bulls. And not everybody can have a DMZ the way Lester has. All right.
Well, hold
So,
on. So fencing is fencing on a farm. The one thing I will say, one thing that I have learned is that fencing on a farm is a never ending battle.
yeah.
It is as relentless as your lawn grows. It will habitually find there are ways that somehow things start to stretch or to pull or to do things that it's not. It is ongoing and it will always be ongoing. And it is a never-ending job. So it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. I have a letter to read, but can I show? Can you give me a second to find a funny video?
Pretty soon, we're going to have to let people go. We've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Nobody wants to go. Jimmy, remember a while ago we were at 5,200? Guess what? Now we're at 5,366. So if the people are still watching, let's just let them watch. Y'all just keep on watching.
Stella's DNA is not back yet. People keep asking about that. It's not back yet.
What's that, Jamie?
Stella's DNA.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that too. I really want to see that. I'm going to send this. This is something that I want to laugh about with y'all. Oh. Please allow me to laugh at with you all. We're going to all laugh together, Jamie. We're going to all laugh together, okay? So hold on a second. I got to pull it up. I did not plan. All this is just kind of all like working out, okay? I did not plan this. This is hilarious. Okay, here we go.
Using just the sound.
Hold on.
Don't let me push it.
Okay. Just watch, Jamie.
It seems very strange to us Westerners that we think that a simple sound or a phoneme would have the ability to affect a person in that way. What's even stranger is the idea that using the sound and projecting energy can actually knock somebody out. Samantha is going to try for her first time to actually knock me out using just the sound and the energy projection.
Okay, I think that's enough to illustrate my point. Jamie, do you believe any of that you just saw?
No, and I can't believe that I don't even know where this is going.
Okay. Can folks please remember a very important point I'm about to make? Stop believing everything you see in videos. We already know you can't believe what you see on TV. We know you can't believe what you see on the news. We know that you don't believe. So why should it be any different with people who create videos? If everyone's going to fight and argue over what they think, what is what, because that's what's happening over here is a lot of arguing and fighting. I want to remind you that right there was put on in front of a live audience, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I knew from the moment that they got it was fake, but
all I want to know is how does that crap show up on your feed? Because my feed doesn't look anything like that at all.
Hold on. Julia says it best. Just remember, everything we see online. Oh, not everything we see online is real. Thank you, Julie. That is so darn true. And people forget that. You forget that, y'all. You forget that. Everything that you see online is not true. Most things I would say you see online are not true. All right, here we go. Oh, Jamie. I wanted to read it, but look what it says on top. Can you read that?
Not
private.
Yet.
It says private. Please read in private. And it's to Lester. So I will not be able to read this. But she wants to make sure that you know that it's appropriate. She goes, I hope and pray that all is well. Please read in private. Jamie, it's fine. So I don't know what she was trying to say. Anyway, so ma'am, I will take some time to read that in private. And darn, that was my last gift to open, Jamie. I didn't bring a whole box like you did.
Well, I believe it or not, there's a package for Dan and Lou in my box, so I have to bring that over tomorrow to Lou.
Did I ever show this from Karen Glenn? This is already open. I've already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find anything to talk about. Has anyone?
I know, like, are you like lonely tonight because you don't want to hang up? Is that like, I feel like you are like.
We've all seen our word search. We should sell this. We should make copies to sell
like,
our word search.
The kid at show and tell, it's like, wait, but I have this mint, and it's really cool mint. And then he's like, wait, but I have this phone kit, like anything to just keep it going.
All right. Well, listen, if we hang up, don't you text me 5 minutes later
saying,
Lester, what are you wearing? What are you wearing?
I don't text you and ask what you're wearing. That's so weird. I know what you're wearing all the time because it's always the same thing.
All right. Well, say goodbye then, Jamie. Darn it.
You can stay on, but I do have to build my video for tomorrow.
No,
and
it's late.
Good? Okay. Y'all, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight for this crazy date night that we have, brought y'all along for. I guess this is how the kids dated during COVID too, right?
No, kids didn't care.
Oh, okay.
You don't understand. COVID only shut down some people. Most people did not shut down for COVID. Kids never stopped. Kids never stopped doing what kids do. They just found ways to be more sneaky about it.
Understood.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing about COVID right there.
Y'all,
it only shut down some, huh?
I was gonna shut you down and say we love you so much, and we are so blessed that you give us so much of your time, and for allowing us into your homes and phones, and just being a part of this wild and crazy journey that we're on.
I cannot say it any better. So we'll end with that, and I'll just tip my hat. How about that?
We love y'all.
We do, and we are blessed to have you a part of our lives. Get it?
I got it.
Our lives. No one gets my humor anymore, Jamie. That's our lives. This is alive. It's alive. Thank you for being a part of our life and our lives.
I got it.
All right. I'm out. Bye, guys.